Synthetics builds, derivatives that mimic real assets. And so when you look at, it's a different, I have it up here. I have it in red because I think synthetics is Matic. Loopring is the one that, Alan, I don't know if you were on earlier when I said you brought up Loopring to me. And I looked at it a long time ago, and I didn't realize Loopring was bigger than Matic. Actually, I thought it was the other way around. So Loopring, Matic, those are like more direct sidechain scaling solutions for like payment systems. But synthetics is a different way of doing a scaling solution. It's through derivatives. And so I think, can you look at, here, we talk about market potential, right? So the derivatives market today, we've got you've got your stock market, the equities stock market, you've got the currency markets, the foreign exchange markets, you've got smaller markets, and then you've got the derivatives markets. I forget the numbers, but the stock market is tiny compared to the exchange, the currency market, the foreign exchange market, which is monstrously bigger. And then the derivatives market dwarfs both of those by a monster amount. The amount of, hold on. How big is the derivatives market? All right, let's see if I can Google this for you guys real fast. There's a really good chart. I'm sure most of you have probably seen it. If you haven't seen this, you have got to see this and understand this. Yeah, here it is. This is a good one. What's the site? Visualcapitalist.com. All right, so this is awesome. It's a great question. Thank you so much for the question about synthetics, because I'm going to talk about this. Synthetics is the leader for the cryptocurrency derivatives market. Actually, if I pull up DeFi Pulse, if I go to derivatives, you'll see synthetics is the #1 derivatives player with $1.6 billion of locked-in value. Right? It's on the Ethereum network and then Nexus Mutual. All right. So derivatives. When you look at the top-end potential of these things, so this is the silver market, this little box. It's all of the silver on the planet Earth. This is the cryptocurrency market. It's grown a little bit since they probably did this visual, but Bitcoin is a little bit bigger than silver, right? And all the other coins, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the others. The U.S. government military spending or global military spending, I'm not sure which one, but the governments spend a lot more money on killing other people than the cryptocurrency market, apparently. I didn't know that. U.S. budget deficit's way bigger than even the crypto market. Coins and banknotes. The Fed's balance sheet, which is like dwarfs cryptocurrency. Billionaires. Gold. Here's gold. This is what Bitcoin will eventually probably catch up with. Bitcoin's got a long way to go to catch up with gold. Then you've got your Fortune 500, right? Market capitalization of all the big major players. It's pretty big. It's bigger than gold. This is why this right here is what this is what Ethereum could be, right? Basically, right? This is the foundation on which all these big mega titans you see here, the big mega titans of the cryptocurrency landscape in the future, could be built on Ethereum as the underlying platform. So Ethereum itself wouldn't be this big, but you get the idea. The entire stock market, really big, lots of volume, lots of money involved in the stock market. And then here's the money supply. It's bigger than the stock market, I think, slightly. And then global debt is monstrously bigger. It's a bad problem. Real estate, really, really big. Global wealth, huge. And then here's the derivatives market, guys. All right, so if synthetics owns the derivatives market in the cryptocurrency space, and if cryptocurrency were to take over, this is the derivatives market. It's still going, still going, still going, still going. Okay, finally at the bottom. The derivatives market, this is like, contracts and options and whatever else, right? Now, it's not direct value. Derivatives aren't direct value, but you get the idea. Derivatives value market is, what they say here, something like the notional value is $558 trillion. The synthetics upside is ridiculous. Now, obviously, it's not going to reach like the derivatives market cap of like the world. But you get the idea. It's got some potential. All right. A little more info on Graph versus Chainlink. So, again, Graph is an indexing service, and it can be used for cryptocurrencies as well as outside. The problem with the Graph versus like an Oracle service like Chainlink is, so API 3 is another one of these Oracle services. That's a different way of doing the Oracle services. So Graph, API 3 are in that bucket of challengers to Chainlink. the way the Chainlink ecosystem works is it's a lot easier to be able to pull data from the Chainlink network and know that you've got trustless, verifiable information. So I don't have to trust any central authority, and I can verify the information. Graph and API 3 have a long ways to go to reach that fully trustless model, to be able to go, okay, if I pull the data from here, I know that this is trustless, verifiable data on the decentralized network. Because again, Graph was a centralized service that just went decentralized. It just launched like a decentralized version of it. So for me, it has a long way to go. So if you look at what they could, this is why I say Graph and API 3 is one of my deep sleepers. I think that these alternative ways of doing Oracle, like the web API 3 is a Web 3 variant of like an Oracle service. I think they could have huge market potential, but Chainlink is like today, if you're going to build a project and you need to be able to pull data from an Oracle service, Chainlink is where you're going to go. So for this market cycle, I think Chainlink has more upside because that's what's going to be used today. Just like Ethereum, I think has more upside than a lot of the projects still to go, even though it's the leader because the market effect. So you've got the network effect going on with Chainlink already. You've got the network effect with Ethereum. Over time, the Graph or API 3, maybe at the second half of this market cycle or next market cycle, they could be monstrously huge. But for in the next 3 months, like what I'm really focused on is playing this next 3 months of the early phase of the altcoin cycle, and an alt season, the early phase of alt season. And so right now, all of the hype is going to go to the things that are provable and work, I think. And you might get some nice spikes out of like Graph, and we'll play them. We'll watch them on the charts. But Graph has got to get more exciting. Look at Graph. So this is what the market's speaking right now. Look at Graph and look at Chainlink, right? There's a spike here. Let's look at Chainlink on the USD and the Graph on USD. But the market's speaking, right? The market likes Chainlink. It's got the network effect, and it's the leader in the Oracle space. Let's look at GRT. The GRT rates Graph versus like Tether is not a USD. All right, yeah, Graph versus USD. Yeah, that's not looking good. So, the market's telling me that Link is the play right now. So that's fundamentally what it boils down to. I've got API 3 down here too. So API 3 versus Ethereum. Yeah, see, API 3 is just sideways. So the market is telling me that these are not the Oracle projects to be getting into right now because the charts just aren't setting up, and Link is. I mean, that's a real simple answer. But it's got network effect too, so don't discount that. What's that website, Brandon? Oh, what was that? This one? You guys can't see my link. I'm sorry. Let me. I'll put it in here. I'll put a link in chat, and I'll make sure to put it in the video to credit them. So there's the link to that visual that I just used about the synthetics, all the different markets. It's called it's visualcapitalist.com, and it's like / all the world's money markets in one visualization 2020. It's a big link, so I put it in the chat just now. I hope that answers the question about Graph and like API 3 and these other projects. I mean, we have to follow the market will tell us where we should go and what we should do, and so half of my analysis is I make sure that I'm comfortable with the technology and I like the technology and it has merit, and then I watch the market to tell me what to do, right? So I don't buy things just because I like the technology, because if the market doesn't agree with me, it doesn't matter. Like my opinion about it doesn't matter. It's what the market likes, what the market thinks is important. Now, of course, I might buy a very small amount of some speculative thing that I think the market will catch up on eventually, but I'm not going to put any sizable investment in it. Like API 3, it's on my sleepers list. I think I have like 1 ETH worth of API 3, not even that. It's a tiny little bitty bit of something that I'm holding on to because the chart's not set up. It's not. This is USDT too. This is not even. Yeah, I mean versus Bitcoin and everything, it's not doing well. All right, you guys get the point. I'm gonna get off that topic. I think I'll turn my XRP into a synthetic token. That's probably fair. Bond market's by far the biggest. Yeah, bond market's huge. I think derivatives is still bigger than the bond markets though. Pretty sure. Or are bonds considered a part of derivatives? I wouldn't think that bonds would be derivatives, right? Wouldn't that be global debt? I think bonds would count as debt. because you have to pay that back. So, yeah, government debt, I think, would be probably predominantly bonds. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong, but I think in this graph, bonds would fall under global debt. All right. What do you think about deflation tokens like Statera? You know, I think it's overhyped. The deflation thing, I think is overhyped. Like, I don't really care if it has a controlled inflation or deflation, as long as it has huge potential. The market's interested. I prefer fixed cap. Another reason I like Cardano, for example, Cardano, everybody knows exactly how much circulating supply is, whereas Ethereum, that's not the case. Ethereum doesn't have a hard cap, and Cardano has a hard cap, so we know exactly how many Cardano or ADA tokens there are ever going to be, and it's going to get capped, whereas Ethereum doesn't have a cap. So, all else being equal, I prefer capped or deflationary to inflationary assets, if that's a fair way of putting it. But it's a side decision for me. Like, I still hold lots of Ethereum, even though it doesn't have a hard cap, and we don't even actually know exactly how much Ethereum there is, because, frankly, I'm following the charts, and it doesn't matter. If Ethereum goes from 1,000 to 5,000 in a few months, 1,000 to 3,000 in a few months, it doesn't matter if there's a supply cap. It moved from 1,000 to 3,000. That's what matters. I'm thinking it's a good question, though. Good question. I'm not a big, it doesn't matter to me too much. I think derivatives market has a big element of double counting. So yeah, of course, Ron. Derivatives it's not actual value, right? You have to be able to execute that value. So the idea is that there's a lot of value tied up in the derivatives market, nonetheless.